And it's still our campaign to get the Lekma roads fixed. Here we are live coming to you from the Lekma Hospital. It's in the Agbleza Manet Road. And this is where we are. It's in Teshi. So users of this stretch should be familiar with the situation of the road. We're asking you to use the hashtag #FixLekmaNow on all our social media platforms. So let's get some comments on Facebook now and see what you've been talking about. Tommy Hilfiger says we're waiting for the drivers to talk, and indeed the drivers have been talking. This road is 100% better than Ablekuma Road. So people doing comparisons there. And indeed, because of this campaign, there are others who are drawing our attention to other roads in their communities. Ernest Edusei says the road must be fixed. So when you're a leader, you should be the last person to lose hope or be frustrated. Words spoken by the Member of Parliament for the area when he appeared on our show. We encourage you to go to Facebook, go to Twitter and post your comments and use the hashtag #FixLekmaNow. We'll take you back to the team stationed. We will take you back to the team station at the Lekma Hospital, but here are some more comments. These people complaining about the road, they would never vote for you if you construct that road for them. That's the nature of Ghanaians. Nat says, yeah, I'm happy because I was the one who shared my opinion in the interview by the name Nats. In fact, we still insist if the road is not fixed, we will have a second thoughts in the next election. So a lot of people also linking the situation to the power that they have in terms of voting. This one says, Erickson says, but if such so-called non-citizens of Lejakuku vote for you, you'll have it more like a question. Peter says, make it a first-class road and collect tolls on it to maintain and develop other areas. It's not rocket science. It's been done in all the developed countries. Abba. Daniel Ando says, how does that come in? Are they not Ghanaians? Why ply that road? So people also interacting with each other, with themselves, if you like, on our Facebook page. Henry says, tell that man to keep mute because he is a failure. And it's sad because we know that MPs are not responsible for building infrastructure, but a lot of people saying that because he campaigned with it, they expect that he would lead the fixing of the road. We'll take you back to our mini studio at the Lekma Hospital with the team.
Teshi has no one to hear our cry. We have been calling on the previous government, the current government, to come to our aid concerning the situation of this road. Yes, let's all see. We have a Lekma Hospital here. Look at the amount of that's come into the hospital. It's affected us a lot. And we have been crying, and no one seems to hear our cry. Yes, when we look at Teshi, for instance, we have over 4,000 population, and we cannot boast of any good road in Teshi here. This Lekma road is not used by only the people of Teshi, but people from Nungwa, Bachona, East Legon. We all apply this road. We should look at the nature of the road. And more also, and it is affecting us so much so that not only the health-wise, even the lorries on our road, they easily got broken. And look at the cost of living in Ghana today. Instead of somebody to use the little money he has to take care of his family for education, he's going to use all this money to repair his vehicle, which if the road is in the good use, this money will be saved.
Seth, this road has been like this for over a decade. Yeah. And now we know for a fact that it costs lives. Pregnancies have been lost because of this road, not to mention the economic effects. So let me ask you this, as residents, how far are you prepared to go? Have you been pushed to the wall yet? What are you willing to do now to make sure that those responsible take action and fix this road?
Yes, we are more than prepared because in 2016, we had a meeting with the Ministry of Road and Highways. We presented a lot of projects, including this. They promised us that they will take this project seriously. Now, up to today, we haven't seen anything yet. We have been patiently seeing as the new government aim. It will also come to realization to come and then fix our road for us. But what we have seen is they are not prepared to help us solve our problem. Now we are more prepared than ever. This is somebody who I feel more sympathy for is our MP. You hear him moving left and right, going, speaking, moving from door, Falstaff House, and all over, and there's no response. This time it is not MP fights. It is our fights. And we'll make sure, with your help, with your collaboration, we'll make sure this road must fix before December. If not, we are telling the government they shouldn't bring any ballot box here. Techi is not a village. Techi is an urban city. And when you look around, even apart from the road, we lack so many facilities. We don't know what we have done. So we are calling upon the government. We are calling upon the president's wife. She comes from here. And she made us understand that when we vote for the government, we vote for their member of parliament, they are going to solve our problem for us. What has happened now? We are calling on Madam Rebecca that it shouldn't, forget the promises he made to us. It should come back. And we are waiting for them. If not, we are not going to take, a drastic decision. We'll make sure we will handle it in the way that the Constitution allow, and we'll make sure that these are roads, we can't continue to die.
Mr. Banafo, I want to bring you in here. Now, there's a lot of sensitive equipment being used in this hospital to treat all kinds of ailments. Now, look, this dust, it permeates everything. It's pervasive. When you're driving through it, you can see that it's trying to get into your vehicle through every single crevice. Tell me, does this have an effect on the amount of money you spend on renewing and maintaining the equipment that you need to save lives in this hospital?
Thank you very much. Yes, it does have effect on our equipment. We all know that we are closer to the sea, and for that matter, the sea breeze itself is a problem. Yeah, so when the dust also permeates into the sensitive equipment like the CT scan, the laboratory equipment, and other gadgets that we use, the sea breeze also goes in there to add up to the dust and then causes rust on the boards. So most of the time, we get frequent equipment breakdowns. And can talk of, currently as we speak, our CT scan machine has gone off beyond repairs. And for that matter, the whole of Teaching, we don't have CT scan. They have to depend on the private sector for CT scans. And currently, these cardio conditions, we get a lot of them, and most of the time you have to do some scans, and it goes up and down, and the road is also no good. And second aspect is also that the air conditioners are also breaking down. Our analyzers are all breaking down frequently, and we have to spend a lot of money on. Yeah, so if you come to the equipment aspect, that is what I can say for now. Our oxygen plant has also gone off beyond repairs. That has to also be replaced, and now we depend on cylinders, buying them, and sometimes we run out of oxygen at all times, and it becomes very difficult.
Allow me to challenge you a little bit, if you don't mind. This is a problem you've lived with for a while. Talk us through what you have done, who you have spoken to about this, who you have appealed to, and what response you have received from those responsible for fixing the root cause of these constant problems that you've described.
Well, this problem, we normally have procedures that we follow in reporting. We write our annual report and media and quarterly report through our directorate to the region, to headquarters. And over the years, all these reports and the concerns have featured in the report. And I can say that early part of this year, we learned that the road had been awarded. And we saw a contractor mobilizing just behind the hospital. And we saw some start of small work at the Manette side of the road. And we were hoping that it will continue, but we don't know what has actually interfered. Yeah, so that is what I can say for now. We have done all that we're supposed to do to report the issues, and occasionally pressmen comes around, just as you have also come around, we talk about it, and we are yet to see the solution.
Beyond the report, have you explored any other, because this is not normal, let's be clear, this is not normal. Other hospitals are not going through the same level of problems that you are going through in terms of maintaining your equipment just because of the road. So it's not normal. Beyond the reports, which are the normal way of passing information up, what have you done extra to draw attention to this abnormal situation and seek a solution?
Yes, as I always say that if you are born and you say your father doesn't take care of you, at least when you grow, you should be able to take care of yourself. Yes, we are doing everything possible to maintain the equipment that we are working with, just to make sure that we keep the hospital running. And we frequently also do repainting just to keep the place in order. And we are also buying equipment to replace the broken down ones, the ones that are within our domain. Yeah, so basically, what I can say is that we have structures, and more so too, we are into health. So all we can do is report to the appropriate quarters. During our annual performance review, members of the assembly comes, ministry comes, roads people come, everybody is there. And with your help and other press houses, I think a lot has gone out there. And we know that the country has a lot of problems with regards to roads. Yeah, but I personally believe that there are priorities. There are other areas that are more pressing. Just as in our homes we do scale of preferences, I know very well that when we look at where other vital installations are, I think it will help. It's not just the equipment that has problems. We have doctors staying at Regimanuel along the Sprinters Road, but because of this road sometimes, they don't pass the dusty road. They go around to Palace and then pass the new road. Sometimes traffic there delays them coming, especially when they are called on emergencies. That is not just that too. A lot of other problems that
this road is supposed to be an ambulance highway, isn't it? Because you are a major referral center. And for all the other small clinics in the area, if they have a problem they can't deal with this, they will send the person to Lekma. How does it affect the patients who are coming in and are already in critical condition when they have to use this road?
It's actually a lot of inconveniences. Actually, what I can say is that even when you are in critical condition, you don't feel much because you don't see what is happening. But even the staff, the emergency staff who remain in the ambulance, and the patient relatives who tow the vehicle alongside with the client patients, they all go through a lot of problems with regards to traveling. And health 1 minute matters, especially when you get there on time. Yeah, so the delays is actually causing, especially those along that side, bringing their patients, and as some of them said on the other side of the presentation.
I mean, after I took that tricycle ride a few days ago, I must say that I felt the pain in every possible part of my body. I'm wondering what it would mean for someone who is already very sick and maybe numb, but it's because we know what trauma and shock can do to someone in a situation like that. Have you ever seen a situation like this in the hospital where a patient's illness is made worse because they've been on the road?
Yes, it is possible because in transporting them, not all of them uses the national ambulance. And a patient who is not supposed to be shifted, especially the accident victims, they carry them, somebody with a fracture of the rib or spine or probably waist, lying a taxi and a taxi jumping along this particular road. It's not potholes. It's actually, I don't know how to describe it. It's something else. And when it rains, you can't even pass there at all. So all of it, that's where we used to pass. But now we have to resort to the new road. That is why there's huge traffic in front of Palace towards the Flower Pot Junction. It's all because those who can pass here and just get to Manette and other places are all ignoring, and we are all accumulating at that edge of the road.
Seth, have you ever seen that situation before where you've had to bring a sick person and you're driving on the road that is making the person worse?
Yes, it happens a lot. And more often, it causes most of the death. So even in the community, we normally accuse Lekma. That is, it is an hospital whereby people just died because of the situation here. So it is something which affects the life of us because of the bad nature of the road. In fact, the nature of the road is causing more harm than good for us, even those of us who visit. I was admitted here. I almost died because when I was being transported to this place, the road was so bad that the driver has to take, his time instead of coming with a certain time.
What was wrong with you?
No, it is, but then I was having something like is it asthma? I cannot tell, with water, green water, blue water in my body. So I was operated upon here.
No, wait, you were asthmatic?
No, I don't know how.
You had something like asthma, so it was a breathing problem?
Yes.
And you came on this road?
Yes.
The windows were rolled down?
Yes. So, and I almost lost my life here. That was the first time I saw this man as administrator.
So it's not long ago?
No, it's not long ago.
It's
somewhere February, this February.
Wow.
This February, which is very terrible. And we don't know why. When you look around, when you go to La, you go to Nungwa, you go to, all their roads have been asphalted. So I don't know what is wrong with Teshi people.
You know the bigger issue, Kojo, the curiosity that I find about the Elejokuku municipality. Less than 5% of all the roads in the entire municipality are asphalted.
So you see, this is a widespread problem that is now indigenous to this particular municipality.
Less than 5%, 25 kilometers in the entire municipality, which has 517 kilometers of road, have been asphalted.
Daniel, it tells a story of neglect. What it means is that the people of this particular municipality, for some reason, keep being skipped in the minds of decision makers when it comes to the creation of infrastructure, road infrastructure. And you see, this is a general problem across the country. We need better roads. Let's be real. There are many other parts of the country where a good road is required, and people are suffering just as much as it's happening here. But you see, I think that statistic you've read tells a certain story, and I think the people who live here can tell that story even better. Let me ask you this. So far, we've heard of one-way traffic in terms of communication. You, the community, and of course those who work in the hospital have been reporting the problem to the authorities. Tell me, how much have you heard back from the authorities about this, the solution to this problem?
Since 2016, which we met the minister, then the minister at the ministry, we haven't heard of anything else. We as an association have done our best, go to the urban roads, go to the ministry, go to the local government. All that they said, we will be coming, we are coming, and there is nothing else. So there is nothing that they have done for us. Like you said, we have escaped in the mind of the decision makers.
So can you imagine being a citizen like everyone else, paying tax like everyone else, yet when it comes to what you deserve, just like everyone else, you're forgotten?
Because you know what? The national average for tarred roads, for covered roads, is 30%.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, the national average is 30%.
So this is 1/6 of the national average.
Yeah. I wonder how businesses are surviving here. Because look, I see a hotel not too far from us here. Who would want to drive on this road and go and sleep in a hotel here? Seth, can you tell us something about how businesses, especially on this stretch, are thriving?
In fact, it's affected the businesses a lot. I have a brother who is having a hotel somewhere at Agblisan, and no one is visiting the area because of the bad nature of the road. When you look around, you cannot see any good investment in the area because an investor wants a place where it's very conducive, where he can reap back his profits. And with this nature of road, like you said, Teshi, look at us. You cannot boast on any good road. And it's affecting us so much that businesses are dying. We are becoming poorer. The citizens are becoming poor and poorer every now and then. And it seems no one care about us. Like I said, for our MP, he's doing his best. I've been seeing him. Wherever he's going to a place, sometimes he will inform me. I will go with him some places. But yet, there is no response. And I believe that something drastically has to be done. The government must focus, or if left with me or my wishes, the government should focus all the rest of its resources to Teshi. Because Teshi is the center of Greater Accra. When we are coming from Tema, Nungwa, Teshi, when we are going to Accra, Teshi is the center. So if Teshi is not developed, I can't see how the Greater Accra will develop. So it affects us a lot.
The people of Lejokuku Krowo are gathering. As we're speaking, they're coming in small groups. They're joining us in our audience here. They do not want to be the forgotten municipality. So today they want to be heard. And as they join us, we'll give them the opportunity to speak.
We have been joined also by Dr. Boache. He's the head of Obs and Gynae here at the Lekma Hospital. I smiled when I saw that he's head of Obs and Gynae because I'm remembering those pregnant women we spoke to who understand the pain of pregnancy, and they say that when they're in labor, they'd rather walk here than sit in a car on this dusty, bumpy road. Dr. Boache, is that the full story here?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners and everybody. Could you, long time?
It's good to see you, Doc.
Yes. I mean, it's good you are doing this documentary. You know, I'm just about to go into theater, but my administrator has said a lot, but I said, let me just add my voice to it. And it's not just even for the patient. I can take to my office right now. It's just dust all over. the keyboard of the computer, dust everywhere. And the sad thing is that sometimes the air conditioners in this hospital, you can ask Charles, every time you can go to the maternity ward right now, the labor ward, where it's so hot, we have an AC there for the women to be comfortable. It's spoiled. Go to theater, we have to, it's like every 2 weeks, you have to service it and change it because it gets clogged up. And sometimes we have to operate in the heat. And sometimes you see me coming up from the theater in my scrubs to his office because I'm sweating and I'm operating, and it's not good for everybody. Talking about the pregnant woman, you can imagine a woman coming in labor, in pain, with all sort of obstetric and gynecological complications on this road. Do you understand? Sometimes I come to the hospital twice in a day because you go home and you have to be called back.
Okay.
And I live in Councilman. It takes you a shorter time even coming to this point than even getting to the hospital. And it's been there for a long time.
You mean coming to the point where the bad road begins?
From the filling station to because you have to go slow.
Yeah.
Your car gets spoiled and nobody is going to service it for you. So you can't, and sometimes because of what is an emergency, you just have to drive through like that. I think it's high time that we sort it out. This used to be a very nice, what somebody was saying. We started it, and now you look around, you can see for yourself. Everything is brown. It's like another sort of paint that has naturally been done. So we'll be grateful if something could be done about it. And as you know, it's a major referral center for the facilities all over the place, and even the private facilities all around, from family health, everywhere, the income, they all bring their clients here. And the road is so bad that for us, for obstetrics and gynecology, time is of the essence. A bleeding woman, you have to sort it out as soon as possible. So every minute wasted is a big minute lost in the sense. And you can't drive fast on this road. What's the speed you can go on this one?
So it's affecting emergencies?
It does. It's
aggravating the illnesses?
It does.
I want you to say this categorically, Doc. Do people die because this road is bad?
I cannot sit here and say that people die because of this. But what I can tell you that because of the road, there are delays in assessing emergency care. I mean, when you talk about emergency care, there are 3 Ds. You talk about delay in getting to the facility and all that. And this is a major D in that, the delay in getting to the facility. The road is so bad that it takes you so much time just to get from just this side to the hospital than even coming from wherever you are coming on the new road. And as Charles said, people have to go around just to avoid this road.
I mean, you're about to go into surgery now. As a doctor, often you are called from elsewhere to rush in and save a life.
Yes.
Have you or your colleagues ever got here too late just because of this road?
I would say it's a common thing. I mean, because how could you look at the road? How fast can you drive on this? You can't. Even if you want 4x4, you can't go on it.
Of course, it's out of your hands.
It's out.
When was the last time that happened? You got here too late.
I mean, I'm not saying that you've gotten here, but the fact is that you look at the road. How fast can you drive on it? Do you understand? So I mean, in everything they'll say research. So I wouldn't sit here and say that it's just because of the portion of the. But it's a major factor in the 3 Ds. The 3 delays that we talk about, delay in making a decision, seeking the care, and it's a big. I mean, you can't. There are no two ways about it. No two ways about it. I mean,
let me add my voice to what Dr. Boasi has just said. You know, sometimes the delays come from the homes, and they will come to the roadside looking for cars. You stop taxi and you say, going to Lekman, this road, I cannot, especially when it rains. The Uber drivers, the taxi drivers are refusing. Only the trotro, and you cannot put a pregnant woman or an accident victim into the trotro. You have to wait. And that delay, when they come, they don't talk about it. And we haven't done any research to establish why somebody died, and we can probably attribute it to the road. But those in their various homes can best tell. But from the analysis I've just given, it's obvious that we may have some unreported deaths due to delay in getting transport or means of transport just because of the bad nature of the road.
Even in preparing for this broadcast, I remember very well speaking to Samuel Dami, and he telling me that, look, getting a taxi from Kokomlemle to Lekma, when you tell them that we are coming to Lekma, you can imagine because of the 7.5 kilometers here, which is about 5% of the entire journey. And I was saying, no, he won't come.
Absolutely.
And that is coming from
with good reason, by the way.
With good reason. I mean, you can't blame them. Seth, tell me a bit about it. When you're trying to get a car to come here.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult. Like my colleagues have already said, even that sometimes we, the citizens, even refuse to come here because of the bad nature of the road. When we are talking about the bad nature, we are not only concerned from here, but look at most of the residents live at Sprinters. You should look at the Sprinter side. It is very bad. So even we refuse to come here, and it's affected us a lot. And like we are saying, if something is not done about this road, we don't know what is going to happen. You say, sometimes I feel very sad because when we go in and then they fight for touching the N1 and the N2, you say it is our call. When we went and fight for touching, instead of coming to facing the Teshi road, then they went and faced the N1, and then the ministry wanted to recommend us. Even they asked us to recommend us that they are doing very good job, which we went and give through graphic, and we said the Ministry of Road and Highways is doing very good because they asked us to do that.
Say that again. The ministry asked you to commend them.
Yes, for bringing a project or roads to like a N1, N2, and N2 and N1. We, even though we are using it directly, we are not benefiting from it.
Okay.
When we asked them to do that, we'll go and do different things. Then they left the road that fall within the Teshi enclaves.
It's very frustrating, and I can hear it in your voice. We want Dr. Boakye needs to get into the theater now, so we'll allow him to have his final comments before he goes.
I mean, a lot has been said, and I know that people know. But all I want to say is that I know Joy FM get results. You guys are my friends, and I know when you pick up something, results come. So I hope that this is going to be the beginning of the results, and it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. We just come and we go, and it's going to stay the same. But very soon you come to Lekma, and it will take me less time to get to the hospital from the junction than it takes me from Cantonments to Lekma. So thank you guys for coming in this morning, and I hope the people of Lekma, the pregnant women, and everybody, when they pray, they will thank you guys, and then thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Boakye. Go off and save a life. Let's continue this conversation in just a while. First, we'll hear from you, Mr. Banafo, and then we'll take a break, right?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, a lot has been said. It is my fervent hope and prayer that the authorities will do something about this road to help us save the IGF, because there is so much pressure on us fixing equipment and buying equipment and even coming to work with some kind of delays. Just as Dr. Boakye said, it's actually a cost to us in terms of productivity, because if you sneak through the main road and you go round, it delays you. By the time you get to the hospital, it's late. Emergency situation cannot be attended to. So we are hoping that something can be done to help us protect the edifice that we all see behind us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Charles Banafo.
Charles Banafo, of course, is head of administration here at the Lekma Hospital. You're live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM and the AM Show on JoyNews on Multi TV. My name is Daniel Daze, here with
Kojo Yankson, and we've got lots more coming your way.
Yes, before we go back to the studios, though, the journey of 1,000 smiles began 10 years ago. And to celebrate this, MTN is giving away 10 brand new Hyundai cars in the MTN Momo at 10 promo, including the all-new 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe as a grand prize. You could also win other exciting prizes.
A community filled with anger.
The MP is not responsible for construction. If you talk to us, who do it be government, urban road. We don't know government. We know if this road is not fixed, then the government should be ready for a serious demonstration.
Their roads in the worst shape.
On the road here, my brother.
All the roads linking to other parts of the communities are all in bad state.
Today you'll be running on this road, tomorrow you are at a shop. I mean, it looks as if this place is not part of Ghana.
This is too rough. You see, they make and that's very terrible. Look at how we got over here. It's crazy, man.
And now, potentially dead.
Just take a look at me. I'm even sick. We plead that they do something about these roads.
But what happened to a political promise to fix the roads?
He promised us that when we vote him into power, he will fix the road. Up to now, the road has not been fixed.
The Super Morning Show and the Joy News team on the AM Show are on the ground to ask the tough questions, speaking to residents, now speaking truth to power. Join us on all our social media platforms with the hashtag FixLekmaNow.
to tell you. Today has a certain tinge of history about it. Not just the whiff of dust, but also the feeling that we're about to do something important here. The Fix Lekma Now movement goes live today with this simulcast between the AM show and the Super Morning show. What we want to do is make sure that this Lejokuku Krowo municipality is no longer the neglected, forgotten municipality. The people who live here, the people affected the most by the absence of infrastructure, are making their way here to the Lekma Hospital for this conversation.
Yes.
About this road.
Yes, we are already gathering quite the crowd here at the Lekma Hospital courtyard, where we've set up our studios, TV and radio, and we are here in our makeshift studio with E.A. Metonunu. He's president of the Teshi Residents Association, and Greg Kendona, he is also a resident of the area. We'll be hearing from them soon. Very shortly, Roland Walker and Emefa Apau will be speaking to us live from inside the hospital, where the residents of the area and patients in there also have their own stories to tell.
Absolutely.
Before we bring you any of those details, though, Kingdom Books and Stationery offers a 30-day credit facility with no interest charge. There's free delivery within Accra, Tema and surrounding towns. So call us on 0302-764101 or 762307 or visit kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one stop shop for all office essentials, stationery and furniture. Now, football season is here again, and Melcom, your number one shopping destination, is here with the Gold Electronics Festival. Make this football season a memorable one. Discounts on all television sets at affordable prices in all Melcom shops nationwide. Melcom Gold Electronics Festival, largest range, best prices. Melcom, where Ghana shops. Kojo, when you were talking about history, my mind went to a conversation Malik and I have been having for weeks about how the people of Lejokuku Krowo, like Greg Kendona here and Metonunu here, have been protesting with their thumbs for the past 20 or so years, and they've still not seen those results. Malik, give us those details.
Well, and earlier Kojo mentioned that the people have been largely neglected, which is surprising because this constituency, like its former twin constituency, used to be Lejokuku Krowo before it was divided. Now, this constituency almost always votes for the governing party. So dating back to 2000, if you check the 2000 elections, the MPP's parliamentary candidate in 2000 was Eddie Akita. He won the seat by 21,082 votes, which was about 48% of total votes cast. He defeated Ni Ajay Sikan of the NDC in that 2000 election. In 2004, the MPP actually changed its candidate. The candidate then was Dr. Gladys Nole Ashite, who subsequently became Deputy Health Minister. She still retained the seat for the MPP with 33 votes and 33,079 votes, which was 43% of the total votes cast. And then she beat Nino Teduya, the late Nino Teduya, who taught me at Ghana Institute of Journalism. He beat him that 2004 election to retain the seat for the MPP. Now, 2008, you know that 2008 there was change in government. 2008, Gladys Nola Ashite, who had retained the seat for the MPP in 2004, lost the seat to Nino Teduya. She obtained 30,000 compared to 42,087 votes, which was 57% of the votes cast in that election. So Nino Teduya snatched the seat from the MPP and won it for NDC. In 2012, the next election, Nino Teduya lost the primaries to Benita Okitidua. She retained the seat for the NDC in the 2012 election. She polled 52,554 votes. That was 55% of total valid votes cast. And she beat Gladys Nole Ashute in that election, who polled 42,000. The vote difference between the two candidates was 11,000 plus. Fast forward to 2016, enters Bernard Okoboy. At the time, and I was pointing out this in the course of the week, Bernard Okoboy needed to overturn a vote deficit of more than 10,000 votes. Looking at the 2012 election results, even the party people themselves in that constituency did not have sufficient belief that he was capable of overturning such a huge deficit. But the people believing that the governing party at the time did not solve their problems, even though they backed them in 2008 and 2012, then decided to vote for the MPP. So Okoboy overturns the vote and then obtained 45,259 votes, constituting 50.75% of total votes cast. Benita Okitidua lost it. She obtained 43,000. There was a vote difference of more than 2,000. So in essence, Okoboy had actually obtained a vote difference of 12,000 plus in order to win the seat. Now, if you have a constituency which consistently votes for the governing party, it is shocking that that constituency suffers the kind of neglect that we are talking about, that a major road linking up to a major health referral center in a massively populated constituency that is wise enough to always vote for the governing party, will be neglected.
And we call them the kingmaker constituencies. Nijokuku is one of them. Malik, you live here. Would you say that this road, which you live by, is one of the key reasons why people vote the way they do?
Because the people vote usually because they want development. And in urban areas such as this, the people's considerations may not be ethnic or religious or some other consideration. It's what tangible development projects are there, what facilities are with them. And we spoke to the resident, one of the residents who told us that the road ministry actually asked them, because they went lobbying for roads, the road ministry asked them to show appreciation for the N1 and the N2 roads. They did that. Why are they lobbying? They had a meeting with the road ministry in 2016 because they recognize that these very important infrastructure must be done. In fact, the state itself, recognizing the importance of this, set up this referral facility. The state itself decided that we're going to do the road dating back to 2007. 12 years down the line, the state which recognized the importance of the facility built such a massive facility here, a 100-bed facility, and we remember how much this facility was politicized, that the political parties used it as political football to gain votes. Why were they tramping up their construction of the hospital? It's because they recognize that the people will take a political decision on the basis of the infrastructure given them. Now, we paid 900,000 Ghana cedis as compensation to people to break down their homes in order to make this road a dual carriage road.
When?
Linking it, we took the decision in 2007.
Thank you.
Started paying the compensation in 2010. Did the demolition in 2015. Brought a contractor in 2015 who did the drains in 2015, 2016. And then that was it. After the drains, the road was left untouched. And this road links the major highway going to Tema, Community 3, through Teshi, from the Labadi Beach Hotel area, from Accra all the way to Tema. Now, it links that part of the road from the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Training Center to Spintex Road. So all the people living around this enclave, Manet, Spintex, all these areas, use this road. It is the reason why the government put up a major referral center, which in my respectful opinion is about the 4th largest hospital in the capital. So how can the 4th largest hospital in the capital have such a poor road that is supposed to lead people to the hospital to access health care?
After listening to this, I wonder what is running through Greg Kendone's mind now. Greg, you've been voting in this constituency for the past how many election cycles, and this is what we sit in.
Yes. Well, Malik Dabo has given very good statistics. He has such a sharp mind. Now, I didn't pay particular attention to this particular issue as a determinant of the way people will vote here. But it is true that there's a large population here. There is a large population here, and it just happens that, yes, we normally vote for the party which is in power. So it is very disappointing. But I personally, I think that the people in this area have not been activists enough, because where I live, not too far from here, the road in front of my own house is a major road. And some time ago, I tried to get my neighbors so that we'll march to the district assembly, a small demonstration to draw attention to our road. Because whenever the main Teshi, the Nungwa road, is congested. People divert and pass through the road in front of my house. But I went round.
Our Fix Lekma campaign is going inside the Lekma Hospital itself. And here's Emefa Apau interacting with persons within the hospital facility.
But how long have you lived in this area?
I'm not living in this area. I'm at Nungwa, but I used to attend my hospital here.
So how often do you have to come to Lekma Hospital for your medical needs?
Last week I was here, and I have a lab test. Because of the lab test, I should report today.
And then I'm sure this is a problem that you've talked about. You talked about how dirty the place is. I'll be highlighting it shortly, though. But what would you want done about this situation for you?
The situation as at now, I'm pleading for the government to come and tie the road for the community so that we will be safe from diseases and other.
It's okay if you want to speak Ghana, though. I'll be comfortable with that as well if you want to. It's fine.
Okay, no what be your government say ni eba feji eba sa gbe ehanwo eja ke bi ene ji doctor hospital wulu ni wo fe wo ba bi ene teshin wa ajo hehepi ke ba shi ne ke gbe na ewo ehan ni hospital de nje ebi ene ache kwemo bi ene fe mulu bi ene fe wo muji ona ni beni obaba bi ene no ba shi bi ene oja keke beni oba shi bi oya onna hela koklo mo ke koke fata oyelai oba na ke beni oba shi bi ene dan mi de nche nkadi wa beni oba ma shi bi ma ya keke ekole dasi ko ebote yin gbe mi keke mi wolo je wolo mon ke ba shi beni ma ya mi wolo.
So, well, I'm sure you heard her talking about the fact that anytime you get to this hospital, by the time you leave, you are leaving with another disease than what you came with, and that they are asking that something should be done about this situation. The road is what she's telling us, though. But I have another patient here with me, and she would interact with me shortly. Your name, madam?
My name is Nanama Boating.
Nanama, do you live in this area?
I used to, but I've moved to Spinkters.
Okay. So tell us what exactly your concerns are. I'm sure that we've been talking about the road and all. What are your concerns as well when it comes to you coming to Lekma and the problems that you face?
Me coming to Lekma, the major problem is the road. Because one is choked on the main road, you can easily dodge and use this road. But this road has been here so many years. My age is 37. And since childhood, it's been like this, and it's upset. It's not normal. So please, if the authorities are really hearing us and then watching us, they should do something about the road.
And we are hearing you because you've been talking about 37 years now. You've been living here, and the road has been this.
I think it's time. Once you are here, I think it's time. It's time for them to do something about the road. And there's a major hospital here. You can just imagine if somebody is in labor and then uses this stretch of road, it's bad. It's not good. It's bad.
So you had another patient then, and now I'm telling you about it. But they talk about how dirty the place is. I'm telling you, if you look at the OPD, you would expect that this is supposed to be the cleanest part. But Daniel, if you come to the OPD, I can tell you about the cobwebs. The dust on the chandeliers. There's a number of chandeliers. I can count up to about 10 of them or so, all filled with dust. And this is the OPD. This is the first point of call before you see a doctor. And like you heard the old man say, by the time you leave here, you are living with another disease. And I have another patient. I would interact with a number of them, most of them ready to speak to us about their situation. Ofana, good morning.
Good morning.
Ofana, touch up with them.
Salome Ajele Soa.
Ofana, oye area name oba ofon Lekma Hospital ba.
Ofana.
Ni mini ji o problem no na ye bie ona ke bo oye area mi oba nya oke wo no ni ji problem ye area name mini ona ni ji no tani achake ye bie.
Ka oba bie ne wo foda komo
Of course, she has other concerns as well. She barely okeba like ma mini jin noni no taoni achakeye.
Oh, Ben Walkaba, Sana will no kota or na asa or Kuni go on bar one nale, she go on bar bloom, Dana go abasheshi.
Okay, so she's telling you about the rumble-jumble nature of the road that they used to come to the Lekma Hospital, and that they're hoping that something will be done about the situation. So at this point also, let me speak to a gentleman as well. I've spoken to a number of women, and I'm hoping to hear from the men as well. Thank you very much for your time here on Joy News, on AM Show, and of course on the Super Morning Show. Your name, sir?
My name is Forsen, Emmanuel Forsen.
Mr. Forsen, so we've been talking about fixing Lekma Road. I'm sure that it's something that everybody is talking about. What's your own story about the Lekma Road?
In fact, the Lekma Road is very bad because I even drove here myself. And coming from the other side to this road, to the hospital is very bad. Even though my AC is not working, but I have to roll the grass to avoid those ducts. And it's very bad. Here being an hospital, we don't have to pass through such a very bad road. So we are praying that the authorities are supposed to do something about it. Seriously, you have to do something about it.
Do you live in this area?
I don't live in this area. I live at Osu. But this is where I always come and check my health status. So at least every month, I always visit here. I visit here once in a month. And the road is very...
Once in a month for how long? How long a period have you been coming to?
For the past 1.5 years now. I've been passing through this road, and it's very bad.
So for 1.5 years, tell me, it has never been fixed? It's always been like this?
Actually, they try working on it, but along the line, they stop it. And I can say for the past, since October to now, nothing has been done. And the road is very bad. So we are praying that they have to do something about it.
And as users of this road, have you sought to find out why this road is the way it is?
The point is, I don't even know whom to contact. You understand? I don't even know whom to contact because I don't live in this area, and you see, I don't know how to even to report it. So it's very good that Joy has come in to help. So we are praying that they have to help because this is an hospital, and so it's very bad, even for our health. So we are praying that they have to do something about it.
But if the road is that bad, the question is, why do you still coming back? Why do you still keep coming back to the Lekma Hospital?
The point is, their services are good here. Me personally, their services are very good here. That's why I always come here, not because of the road.
Thank you very much, Mr. Forsen there. So you see why they still have to come here, because the Lekma Hospital is a #1 referral center. And I can attest to the fact that most people I know have been here, Daniel, to deliver. And the services, I must say, very good, like you've just heard Mr. Forsen telling you. But they would have to endure this bad road before they are able to come here. And that's a problem for them. Another patient here is beckoning me that I should speak to him shortly. Maybe I'll take a seat by him. How are you doing?
Fine.
Okay, abande Johnny. Miniba.
If I can buy surgical review, my face surgical and the banner number review, the right to Fanakwa, Bumlono Que, there's a Sanakachon in the
So this patient here I'm interacting with has his hand bandaged, and he's telling us about a surgical review that he has to come for. And your area name,
yeah, ma'am, she may be a quamba hospital here, and I'm boss to buy be an etche. You told me you on a low Beninia Banner, where problem why a road nay, why denture. Like if you call the BNA Pudenche, ni overfee theatre. Ekwe abanya we week ke biamna na ko fe free no banyo nyi elo no kwe kinyashika ewo mesande ekwe ko be fushon ase sanonyo awoshia ona ni ke every 3 days no address nko je bi eni ko aneke no talo le mi egbe on ke egbe ke boshimo ni bla ke ka wo sami ne ke ma fi addressing na ye insurgical mene problem here no ke o fa pa mo dia ke shi sanigbe bi no yo ye anya afi gbe ke je bi ene ke amana ete ke ho.
So exactly what he's saying is the fact that because they have to come, for his case, he has to come here every 3 days for dressing. But because of this road, it looks like it's becoming very difficult for him, and he is hoping that something will be done about this situation. How many years ni
Oh, Be a na combo than I'm also still one an year. Be a na combo. No hospital na man, I'm almost about 2009, I mean, Toama. Nick Bay and a combo. Nick Bay and a combo. Sani Quatama don't bear asa. One an year. Any photo bar. Like a Rojan Bawa or many of our hospital. One an year. Kajako ba. Come on, ye may ye all like can be many here. Kakabumba, Neko, ya lolium put and check. Make 1 year for your lolium. Luckily, back in Abony, Meneshimo, she on an year.
Okay. All right. So you heard him there talking about the fact that this is the nature of the road and that something must be done about it, and that he's hoping that this hospital was actually built before the road was still, even though at the time that the hospital was built, the road was still the same way. And then they are wondering why nothing has been done about the situation. We'll be wrapping up shortly, but there are a number of women. I've seen a pregnant woman also around that we can interact with. A number of them raising concerns about this nature of this road. At this point, some nurses station are interacting there, but I'll get to talk with a number of them shortly, and then we can wrap up the discussion on the SMS show. But I sit in between these two women. I've seen an elderly lady who's actually smiling at us. Hello.
Pacha, good morning.
Good morning, Pacha.
From Esther Usu.
Oh, Auntie Esther, me Pacha, yeah, about Lekma Road, no? Now, who dear anything?
Road in Momude. Want to manu doors on the door. Want to manu doors to say chuma. Want to mana yes is in a day and how a bumping, and want to manu doors.
So she's talking about the dust and the bumpy nature of the road and hoping that something will be done. Now, it's 8 years for say a bumping or more was some way quine 8 year what there now be catch.
Master and the one brand by a quine ye my one by a quine ye my one by a quine ye my ye young a quine in your cry.
Auntie Esther is a woman of few words, and you heard her telling us that this road must be fixed. She has a problem with the dusty nature of the road, and it looks like one after the other is the same chorus that everyone is singing here, especially at the OPD, telling us about the bumpy nature of the road and what the situation is here, and they are hoping that something will be done about the situation immediately. Maybe it's a good time to also interact with the medical staff here at the OPD. I'm entering the nurses station, and hopefully I could get to interact with one or two nurses here who will tell us what the situation is. Hello, I've seen you sitting behind the computer. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And this is a nurse here at the Lekma Hospital. I want to find out from you what your concerns are also about this road. You have to ply this road all the time to come to work. What's the situation?
Every blessed day I use this road, and what I've noticed is whether it has rained or there's no rain, we always suffer from dust or the muddy environments. Especially if you are not using a vehicle. That's the challenges we have.
And you get to interact with the pregnant women. They tell us that they have to actually get down and walk because of the bumpy nature of the road. What are the kinds of diseases and the kinds of concerns that you hear them raise that you can tell us about?
Actually, sometimes most of the pregnant women, when they are in labor especially, the means through which they will pass to come here is usually a terrible thing, considering the potholes we have here. So, and looking at the nature of the road, there is no drainage system, which can be very prone to cholera. So I will be glad if the government could do something about it. It's very, very devastating.
So you heard the medical person. She's a nurse. You heard her tell us about the situation there. And I'll just interact with one nurse. This is taking records here, and then we'll finally come to you, Daniel, and then we can wrap up. And hello, good morning, ma'am. She's a senior nurse here, and I'm sure Auntie Florence, welcome to join.
A community filled with anger.
The MP is not responsible for construction. If you talk to us, who go do that? It becomes the urban road. We don't know government. We know if this road is not fixed, then the government should be ready for a serious demonstration.
Their roads in the worst shape.
On the road here, my brother,
All the roads linking to other parts of the communities are all in bad state.
Today you'll be running on this road, tomorrow you are at a shop. I mean, it looks as if this place is not part of Ghana.
She says it's too rough. You see, they make and that's very terrible. Now then, look at how we get over here. It's crazy, man.
And now, potentially dead.
Just take a look at me. I'm even sick. We plead that they do something about these roads.
But what happened to a political promise to fix the roads?
He promised us that when we vote him into power, he will fix the road. Up to now, the road has not been fixed.
The Super Morning Show and the Joy News team on the AM show are on the ground to ask the tough questions, speaking to residents, now speaking truth to power. Join us on all our social media platforms with the hashtag FixLekmaNow.
Man's job there you're doing in the OPD of the Lekma Hospital. Just so you know, before today is over, about 92 people will visit that very room that MFA describes as being caked with so much dust on the fans, dust on the air conditioners. You heard, and those of you watching on the AM show and JoyNews on TV, you've seen some of the images of dust everywhere. You've seen the faces of the people as they complain, their frustration. You've heard them, those of you listening on the Super Morning Show. We are not done listening to you speak, because today is about what you have to say about the road that you drive on every day. And let me just acknowledge Afro Daniel Backman's last year a lifetime glyco critical illness plan. GSIP Glyco, we cushion you for life. They bring us text messages on the Super Morning Show. Afro Dan is offering you today the most comfortable chair in the world, the Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair. It has over 10 thoughtfully engineered features, especially customized for your health and comfort. So go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade and feel this chair. You will just be amazed. Or you can call us on 0302-663-085. Let's jump onto Twitter now, and hashtag FixLekmaNow is buzzing, Kojo.
Absolutely. It's trending #1 right now, and that's because all of you have decided to be soldiers in this crusade. And thank you so much for that, for speaking your mind, communicating your thoughts on this hashtag, whether you live here or whether you're just listening and are appalled by what is happening to taxpayers just like you. We thank you so much for your messages. Let's read a few of your tweets. Nicholas Official says, just see how our future leaders are going through this. By the time they get to school, they are already dirty, thereby hindering their performance. Hashtag FixLekmaNow. Ebenezer Piga has been tweeting as well. He says, how come our leaders were ready and willing to spend $200 million on building a new 450-seater chamber for MPs, but can't fix Lekma now with not so much dollars? Are they okay? And then he says, President Akufo-Addo, please fix Lekma now. Kojo Asante says, Charlie, the old man know the sea top. Hashtag FixLekmaNow. Now. Kojo Asante again, thought he said Sikano Woho during the 2016 campaign. Stagger Not has been tweeting as well. He says, we complain all the time and they tell us same old stories. It's in the pipeline. Yes, that does sound familiar. Ebenezer Yenzu says, the traffic situation on the Spentex Road and the Eduame, have I said that right? Eduame Nungwa stretch could be eased if the Lekma Road is fixed. Lives could also be saved. Fire service can access homes quicker. We need to walk our talk. Promises are too much. Hashtag FixLekma now. Ebenezer Kobna has been speaking. He says, we live in a country and society where the citizens have to demonstrate about their rights or things that should be done for them before they get done. Our roads should be fixed. FixLekma now. Jerry says, how do you go to the hospital to cure an ailment and contract another ailment? My goodness. Samit Tikesia says, then after they win, they don't advocate anymore. If the president knows his MP will lose a seat if the road is not fixed, then we go use the MP as bait. After all, they use the road as bait to win our votes. What a thought.
What a thought.
Indeed. I've got a couple more, Daniel. So this one is from Kabute. He says, he tweets at Nana Kufuado, please, we the citizens of Teshi don't deserve this. Go to Nungwa and see all the roads are tarred, yet not Teshi. Why not? This is from Mills. I still wonder what this government has been doing all this while. It's very bad. Fix Lekma now. Fifi says, what happened to the political promise to the people? Josh says, Lekma needs to be fixed now. I'm here as a resident of Teshi. Shall I read one more?
Yeah.
And then we can go. This one is from Kwejo Yabua. He says, if I dey count the people them die for my hood sake of the Lekma road to the hospital, it go over you. And on that sobering thought, let's get back to our table and continue our discussion.
Of course, Kojo, thank you so much for bringing up these issues. Remember I said earlier that with the Lejokuku municipality, there are less than 5% of the roads that are asphalted. The national average for roads that are tarred and covered generally is 30%. That tells you
national average.
The national average. That tells you that, for instance, when you have the Obuasi Ayamfuri road, for instance, terrible road. Yeah. You have the roads entering Takwa. You have the Pantang roads. There are roads across the country, really, that are a poor reflection of our 62 years of independence and the billions of dollars in natural resources that are shipped out of this country every single year. You go to the Takwa Township roads, for instance, and it's terrible. I have a friend back in Takwa who keeps texting me about Mount Zion roads, which I can tell you are also very, very, very bad. So I'll just go through a few of them. There's Adenta New Site, Lakeside and Snitz Flats, Mahia, Ablekuma Road, very, very terrible. Pantine Roads, like I said earlier, I was driving through Soutium the other day, Kojo, it is bad. Hey, when you're going to, and behind Tabora, like inside Tabora thereabouts, this woman's constituency, Foreign Affairs Minister, what's her name? Shelia Yoko Boche.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to visit a friend and he said that, so this friend is a pastor, and he said that the
You
MP...
have pastor friends.
Kojo, please.
Right.
Be nice.
That will be a
so
headline.
The MP said, he said the MP has come to visit the church on a number of occasions, and the road that she drives on to get there, it's serious, oh.
Yeah.
So
I don't think she feels the potholes as much as everybody else. Let's be fair.
Let's be fair.
You know, because I think it depends on what you're driving in, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there is that. Let me come to Emmanuel Metal Nunu right now, President of the Teshi Residents Association. What have you been saying to your leaders?
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. And I like the history that Malik gave about the road and the voting pattern. Let me just add a little. The construction of this road started in 2003. I think somewhere around 7th of August when President Kufuor cut sword for the construction of the road. Almost every MP that has come in Teshi has tried to contribute something to the construction of the road. After 2003, when they cut sword for the construction, nothing really was done. Nothing really was done about the construction of the road. Then in 2008, they lost power. You realize at the time, the road was a one-lane road. And then they decided to make it a double lane. That is where they mark houses to demolish them. But they didn't pay the compensation. So from 2010, like Malik said, running into 2012, most of all those monies were paid. The compensation were paid to the people. Now, after that, somewhere around 2015, that is when the demolition was done. Almost everybody in Ghana, because of votes that politicians will get, they can't take some of these hard decisions. When it was time for demolition, you could your cameras came around. You could see what was happening around. People cursing and all that you lose votes and then all that. But it needed to be done before the road would be constructed. After it was done by that bold decision of the MP at the time, Honorable Benita Senokitidua, the major high-tension poles were all in the road because initially it was a one-way road. They were all relocated back to go behind the road. The drainages were done. The pipelines which on the road were also relocated to go back. The main bridges, just here at the Lekma Hospital Junction, it was done. Agblizan and all those things were done. And then they lost, the MPP, Honorable Senna, lost power. During that campaign period, getting to December, the contractor was working on the road who did all these projects. I think stopped work for some time, about 3 months to election. and the current MP was coming, use it during campaign. So the residents had a lot of hope that when he comes, something will be done about the road. I think people are venting out their grievances now more because there was a lot of assurance given to them. Because even before 2016, there was a lot of work going on, and then he gave hope that it was going to be done. We don't care about whether it's NDC or MPP as residents of Ledger Kuku here. What we are concerned about is that we need a road to be done. Somewhere in January, the residents of Teshi at Blizzard organized a demonstration. And when they organized the demonstration, we got an assurance that from the MP that the road was going to be done. Somewhere in March, they said a contract was signed. When you go behind the Lekma Hospital, you realize that the contractor has even come to set up his place where he was going to stay. From that time, nothing, not even a pickaxe has been put on the road to say something was going to be done. Just on the 24th of June, the residents again, we led a demonstration again, and the MP came back again, and then they promised us that within 30 days, we're going to see works that are going to be done, but the road has been awarded to another contractor. 24th, that's 1 month. 24th of July will be 1 month. And you go on the road, you see that nothing was done. The woman was talking about that the grader has come to grade the road. It was as a result of the demonstration. We told the MP, so they brought a grader and roller to come and grade the road and then all that. Mm-hmm. When you look at the effect of the bad nature of this road, right here in 2015, there were a series of robbery attacks in the neighborhood. The residents set up a police post right there in front of the Lekma Hospital. When you go there now, we set one there and there was one at the Bush Road. The Bush Road, because the road is started, you see the policemen are comfortable there. How do you expect a policeman to come and sit in the police post over here? So it's closed. The container and everything has been provided, but it's closed, and I understand. You can't expect somebody to work over there. When you pass here early in the morning and you see the number of school children that ply these routes going to school, the number of school buses, and you look at the nature of the school buses just because of the roads. The hospital, plenty of people have spoken about it. You go to the lorry stations and you talk to the drivers. All their cars are in a very bad state. Even 2018, 2017 registered cars. And you look at them, you think that the cars are registered somewhere in 2000. It's because of the roads. And Teshin here is one of the places that drivers start charge a lot because of the road. If they will not even come. And if they'll come to, they'll charge you and you have no option than to pay. Even people that have their private cars often don't like to use the road. When they're using it, they move very slow. So it causes a lot of traffic on the road. So this road is of a major concern which needs to be done.
And I think you really illustrated the reason why at Joy we decided to go with the hashtag Fix Lekma Now, not Fix Lekma Road Now. Because clearly by fixing the road, we fix a multitude of problems for the municipality. Now, we've got a little more to do. When we come back from this break, we will tell you what happened when we tried to contact the authorities so that they could participate in this conversation today, so that you could hear from them about their side of the story and the reason why this project has become neglected, why this municipality has become neglected, in spite of the fact that it is filled with taxpayers like every other municipality. Stay with us. This is a live simulcast of the AM show and the Super Morning Show, and we are fixing Lekma now. We're back after these.
Our campaign Fix Lekma Now is today coming to you live from the Lekma Hospital. We've got two teams, AM Show and the Super Morning Show on Joy FM. And we've been speaking to various people. There will be more interactions on the ground as you hear firsthand the people narrate how the nature of the road is affecting their daily livelihoods. But I'm going to take a bow and hand over to Araba Kumsin, who's got News Desk at 10. Araba, we're still on this campaign. We started and now we're here today.
Indeed, Mama V, this is a very, very important campaign, and listening to the residents on the ground, including the health authorities at Lekma, you realize that this is something that's dear to their hearts. A lot of people use this road, so it's a significant road. It's not one of those small community roads, so we need to pay attention to these roads. One thing that touched me was one of the residents in the hospital would come for medical attention saying that they have chest infections, you know, arising from using that particular road. Just from using a road, they have that medical condition. So it's something that I believe that the government must pay attention to. And you had the Residents Association president speaking to Kojo Yankson there, saying that this road, they cut the saw for this road in 2003. When 2019, successive governments have come and passed. You know, they have come, they have promised we will fix the road, and yet nothing gets done. Something needs to be done now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are on this till the road is fixed.
Exactly, exactly. And I have to point out that we have been making efforts to speak to the Urban Roads and Transport Ministry. They've been very tight-lipped on this matter. Some sources at the ministry tell me that, you know, there are issues with the contract and they're trying to resolve that. But that's taking too long.
Yeah, absolutely. So on News Desk later this morning, right after the morning show, Araba will be talking a lot more about this issue as well. We'll take you back live to our team at the Lekma Hospital, but you're watching Joy News. It's a combined show today, the Super Morning Show on radio and the AM show on television. So this is an extensive version of our regular AM show. We go back there now live to the Lekma Hospital.
All have thoughts about this road. Let's start with this lady. Tell us your name and what you're thinking.
My name is Dorothy Akusha Dede Amwa. With this road, very bad. I'm a revenue collector at Lekma Assembly. And when you come to them to collect the revenue, they will tell you the road is bad, so they will not pay. Especially those who sell tabletop, the 50%, they will not pay. The property rates, they will not pay because the road is not done. So we are pleading to the government ahead to do the road. If you come to hospital here, I have a CS here, and the way I suffered to this place, just here, just a stone thrown, the way you will suffer in a car before you get to this hospital, please, in hell in Teshi, Lejekuku. Thank you.
You, Daniel, who have you got?
Yes, I'm here with Wisdom.
From Donko.
Wisdom, I need you to step forward for me for just a second so that we can get a very good. Wisdom is also a resident of the area. He is an NPP executive for the constituency. He is a secretary here. Let me just switch up with you, Kojo. What are your concerns?
My concerns are that the efforts of the president and the MP is being brought down just because this Lekma road is not being done during our time. When we compare what has happened previously to now, our MP through the president are doing frantic effort to see it being done. But still, the road minister on the issues available will with him very well to do his best to let this road be done because it will make election
difficult indeed. And I've heard Dr. Bernard Okuboy talk about how this could cost him the election. MFL, who do you have there?
Okay, so I'll join the Taxi Drivers Association here at Lekma, and to us about their situation. Okay, so all the Taxi Drivers Association will join us here in front, and then we can speak to them briefly.
I'm Joshua Kotete. And you are road name. Come I want I got road wet. No pay road or pay road about mobile. She come I road there. Come near dust near because of dust. Road there come on, over your baba. No, always so kind. Was shows. Only be wrong pafai. One pafai, Cabana road. How? Cafe. I won't. I won't.
Saying that they fixed. One of them then would tell us also how it's affecting their business.
Simon Tawia.
Okay, Simon, how long have you been here?
I've been here for about 9 years now.
Okay, so you're a taxi driver here. Tell us quickly how it's affecting your business.
Yes, my concern is, a lot of people are saying they are pleading with the government, but we are not pleading with the government. Because the right of the government to make sure that the road is fixed. The former government went off. I don't know what the former one, before they say, okay, you people vote for us, and then we'll fix everything for you. We have voted for them. So we are not pleading. Whether they like to come and do it or not, we are in. So if they come and they are not doing it, we will vote them out. This is our comment because we are dying. We are sick and tired of this road. So please tell the government that we are not pleading with him. It is his right and responsibility to make sure that the road is fixed. So if they are not coming to do it, we are not begging them. That's why. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for expressing your thoughts there, Kojo.
Absolutely. I've got Frank Ninaku Dowona here. Frank, I'm guessing you are a resident. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yes, I'm a resident of this municipality. I think strongly a lot of pressures have been put previously on the previous government, but it has fell on deaf ears. But I believe strongly with this campaign, it will touch the hearts of the government to work expediently on this particular road.
If they don't take action, what will you do?
No, of course, it's going to affect them in the next election. Sure.
Thank you, Frank. Right, Daniel is here somewhere, but before we hear from him, MFA, you've been talking to someone else?
Okay, so I have a lady here with me. Your name?
Grace Nikwe.
Grace Nikwe, you are a resident of Teshi here as well. You want to speak Ga. Tell us what you're
I want to speak Ga. O fine shibami. Bene ehi kwa ehi bibio. Keji water taxi ni wamba hospital. Biaka washi moshi blue blue blue. No ba shaje no ba chao hela. Also na hela konkulu ko dano kubashia. Wehi ameba na ambasa hawo. Wonpa me faiwa.
I'm sure you've heard Eshimoshi more than 100 times today, Kojo and Daniel. Eshimoshi, they are talking about the fact that they've been hitting the road up and down when they are coming. It's a bumpy nature of the road. That's how they are describing it. And they are hoping that something will be done about the situation immediately.
All right. Now, I've been speaking to Raymond. Raymond is a resident here. Tell me, Raymond, how often do you have to use this road in a day?
Twice a day, maybe going to work and returning back. And in fact, we're having a big problem. For me, my main concern goes to the emergency unit. In terms of carrying an emergency to somewhere, you see that instead of the ambulance to just pass through the bush road to anywhere, you have to go for a very long way. And it is very boring, especially. Please, we are pleading with the government to come to our aid in Teshi. Our roads are very bad, not just Lekman Road or the hospital road, but we have other parts that must be fixed for us. Please, we are pleading with the government to come to our aid.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. And we also have a gentleman here. Tell us your name and your thoughts.
I told me set in Teshi, taxi driver Jimmy BNA. And what problem no office time say what think I can hospital and we be na. E ja ke keji egba hospital na. That ni ba BFN one day president wife ba BNA instead of akleba chong be no. Ka yo ke wuye enu oni ojogban. No keji akele chong be no ni la unsa bi ehimo sheko ne hekpa afafio fun keke wule wie wule ba nu fio. Shike onupa ko mba ma na emie keke akele chong be ena sa fio no. Abashabi ane fe kenu. Neba na ma ba hospital to moneke wo mu jineke she abashabi ane fe kenu ni bia ba fe fine ke be na no ko ona tanka ni machine kaka ke gbemulu gbemempi ko wogbon ni abaka fele surgery ko kelen ya eye mobo won qualify noni sa e ba fe an wo be mi ne ba vote e ba bia e ba wo kelete taxi runs wo kelete la scala wo kelete aglizan ni jina na kufado wo kele nyi ngbe ye ko wakala nye nye wakala te ne ke wonye e promise wo akagbene ba fi no won qualify.
Okay,
right.
So he's
I did the nodding, you do the translating.
Okay, so he's basically reminding the president about his promise to the residents here. He also tells us about the story when the first lady came here and how she didn't get to use the main road here. He used another route to get to this place, and he talks about the tanker that is parked there, Kojo. That tanker, he says, that was used to wash this whole area before the first lady came. So he's hoping that the first lady, who is supposed to be speaking to the husband to hear, would do just that, so that this road here will be fixed.
Thank you for that. And of course, this problem affects all kinds of people. Daniel has been meeting with some pregnant women who have had to make that arduous trek on this road to get here for treatment. Daniel, what have you learned?
Well, Kojo, I'm here with Sarah and Grace, who will tell us their story themselves. Very, very worrying stuff that I've been hearing. Let me start with you, Grace Ofori. Thank you very much, first of all, for taking time out of your hospital trip to speak to us. Tell us about the drive here when you were coming here. How was that like?
Okay.
Business. And as a pregnant woman, it's very difficult for us. You reach here with complications, a whole lot.
What kind of complications have you gotten as a result of the bad roads that are here?
Miscarriage is one.
Wow.
You come here and then before you reach it, because of the potholes, at times you'll be bleeding. And then at times to waist pain and abdominal pain. And you come and then the doctor asks you to stay over to also let them check your condition and stuff. And after even the treatment, on your way back home, you are going to experience the same thing.
Sarah Becca Chin, Sarah, we are paying for Baha, a quino, a how or quine being so.
But it's not that I'm fact taxing roadside the bar. Mrs. Wusumi. Nti me say I'm tenefies am be 4 months 5 months and some start hospital. I say na kwan enye kwan na say pa ka ne for so na wo so e betumi ase wunyi se ne ade nyina nti ama say me say ya me tan starting them.
When you won't call hospital in time because so Sarah is telling us how because of the poor state of the road she avoids going to the hospital till she's about 4 or 5 months into the pregnancy because she's afraid of losing the baby to miscarriage. Sarah, wouldn't you be a we're losing a baby, sir? Wow.
Be bad sister be can na me see.
Grace, you've also heard something like this?
Yes, a friend.
A friend of yours. Tell us about it.
Oh, she said normally she was going through private hospital.
Okay.
But they refer her to come to government, that she was having 1 and 2 challenges. So this has the bigger hospital closer in this area, Lejokuku. So she was referred here. But on her way coming, because of the potholes and then where the taxi has to pass to dodge traffic and stop, the moment she reached here and then she started to bleed. So she was rushed. She didn't go to the midwife. She was rushed to the doctor. And then the medication was given to her. Then she slept over the following day before she was allowed to go. But when she was here, the pain was less. But on her way back home, she still feel the pain. And then after which she has to return back because of the pain and things she was going through.
So she didn't get home?
No.
She had to come back?
Yes, she had to come back.
And at what point did she lose the baby?
She was about 4 months going to the 5th month.
Going to the 5th month?
Yes.
Wow. Sort of informs you as to why Sarah here decides to wait till about 5 months. I don't know, we'll change 5 months specifically. And
When it's roadside, if taxi have or the road no sunti, ama it me was doing.
But I know what fast so in your hospital on Quankra, who could be who could Roman and be a faso.
By me by hospital, Hannah, me won't.
Oh.
And me bahaya na mba hospital nti ahaya na mefa.
Oh. So Sarah tells us that she won't normally use the road because she's in Nungwa. So when she's going to town, she'll go through other routes. But when she's coming to the hospital, it's here she has to pass. So to protect her baby and her pregnancy, she would stay away till about 5 months into the pregnancy. Now, apart 5 months, is it that it's safer so you can't lose it?
But no, why we got cranty in the moon say okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Grace Ofori and Sarah Bedu, for joining us and for sharing these very, very moving stories with us. I'm going to move to other residents of the area. James Abloka is an MTN. Mobile money vendor. It's not just MTN. All the telcos. Mobile vendor opposite the hospital. Tell us how business is like.
Well, business is good in one way or the other. The only problem we are facing at that side is that, we are right opposite the hospital. And then when you check there, I'm the only person who does mobile money there. So usually I've been having chat with the people who come around from the hospital. The only problem we are facing there is the dust. The only problem we are facing there is the dust. I may say that Honorable Kuboy, in one way or the other, has done his part because it's my friend. I know him very well. It's my very good friend, childhood friend. So now he has done well because I can't language say nipa beye binenso one beye. Yeah. For some time ago or for some years ago, this road has been in a very bad situation because when you look at the portal, it's like a cemetery where they dig and then they bury people. But for some just time now, I think he has been able to grade it a little for us. Though the dust is killing us, but for now, our problem is our cars too are getting old. Because even for about 6 months now, my car is being a workshop. Today is shock, tomorrow is this, and tomorrow is there. So we are pleading. We are pleading. They are our friend, they are our people. We brought them to power, and we know they can do it. They should just help us in doing it.
It's still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM and on the AM show on Joy News on Multi TV. We will be going.